All right, big noon Saturday. The game, Penn State, Ohio State. The Buckeyes, favored by 4.5. Let's get your thoughts on that first.
I mean, like everybody, I played under 47 earlier in the week, and now it's come down quite a bit. Maybe an Ohio State team total under 25.5, I think is what I had seen. Might be a way to go as well. I don't know how healthy Abuka is, the wide receiver. I don't know how healthy Trevion Henderson is, or Mayan Williams for that matter. So this could be a very short-handed Ohio State offense, or at least the guys who might be playing may not be near 100%. Manny Diaz has a really good defense. They've got as many, I think it's 7 or 8 NFL prospects on that defense, draft picks on that team. They're really good defensively, and I think the way their offense kind of helps their defense out with they don't have a ton of big plays on the offensive side of the ball. You can possess the ball for as long as you can, keep it out of Ohio State's hands. I think that will help them hang around the game. So if I had to play one thing in this game right now that's still available, I'd be looking at that Ohio State team total under.
Ohio State team total under. If I asked you for your broad opinion on those 3 Big Ten teams we just discussed, Michigan, Penn State, and Ohio State, who's the best? Because we don't really have Michigan by far, huh?
Yeah, maybe not even close. Michigan, I think, is the most complete team on both sides of the ball in all positions. The way they complement each other on offense and defense,
okay.
with or without whatever cheating is being alleged or sign stealing, whatever you want to call it.
That aside, Kelley.
It's interesting though. However, this game might wind up being like the least important game for Penn State because there's a scenario where we get like a 3-way tie. Ohio State wins on Saturday. Penn State beats Michigan in State College. Then Michigan were to beat Ohio State in Ann Arbor. Like all 3 teams could be 11-1, and we could go down to eventually like the 5th or 6th tiebreak in the Big Ten, which is like opponent winning percentage and cross division opponents. So like right now, that would favor Penn State. So this is not a all or nothing game for the Nittany Lions at all. That game against Michigan in a couple of weeks in State College, I think, is far more important for Penn State than tomorrow's is.
My brain already went to next year and beyond when none of these games are going to matter.
Thank goodness. You aren't excited about a Michigan-Iowa Big Ten championship game? That 45-3 game from a couple of years ago didn't do anything for you?
Yeah. All right. What do you like best this weekend?
Ugly dogs, I think, is the way to go. I think you're looking at a team like Illinois getting 2.5 at home against Wisconsin, with Tanner Mordecai out now for Wisconsin. The evolution to a spread offense is not going well for Wisconsin. Now you don't have your quarterback. You got a freshman in there. Brett Bielema would love to beat his former employer and kick him a little bit while he's down. So I took 2.5 with Illinois. I laid 11.5 with Nebraska against Northwestern. If Nebraska has done anything well this year, it shut bad offenses down. You held Minnesota to 13, Northern Illinois to 11, Louisiana Tech 14, Illinois 7. It may not be comfortable getting to 27-10 or so, but it feels kind of like a 27-10 type game. I took Minnesota plus 3.5 against Iowa. Again, this is just a weird number. And I get there aren't any fishy lines out there or trap lines like this, but you have a 6-1 Iowa team at home against a team that's 3-3, coming off of a 52-10 loss, gave up 37 points to Northwestern. This number is only 3.5. Iowa has dominated the series. The number just doesn't make sense to me. I'm gonna hop on the boat with PJ Fleck and take the Golden Gophers plus the 3.5.
And let me interrupt before you continue. You're not touching that total of 30.5 or 31.
No, it's too low for me. Even though the total last year was like 31, and it didn't come close to going.
Yeah.
So it's just a number where it would be tempting to go over, but I just can't touch it.
This is the one where it ends up either way, right? If it ends up at 24 or if it ends up at 38, you're so mad at yourself either way. You're like, oh, I should have done that,
As we say, like, you don't have to bet everything out there, and that's the biggest advantage that we have. And then I took UCF plus 17.5 against Oklahoma. OU hasn't played since upsetting Texas and Dallas, but it seems like every year OU has one of those games where they struggle as a double-digit favorite. 3 of the last 4 years, they've lost a game outright as a double-digit favorite. If you go back since 2018, 11 times they've won a game in which they've been a double-digit favorite. by single digits. So it's not uncommon for OU to just kind of have that game where they just kind of maybe sleepwalk a little bit or struggle more than you'd expect. I don't expect UCF to go in there and win, but I do think there's enough on that UCF offense to potentially give Oklahoma some trouble. So I took the Knights plus 17.5.
All right, since Kelley Bydlon is sitting to my right, what about the Fighting Kelley Bydlons of Florida State? 14.5-point favorites hosting 5-1 Duke.
I would play Florida State this week just because I don't know the full status of Riley Leonard, Duke's quarterback. It's been a couple of weeks now since he had that ankle injury against Notre Dame. Missed last week. If he's hindered at all, there's no way he's going to be able to play the type of game that Duke needs him to play. He's a mobile guy, likes to use his legs as well as his arm. The offense completely goes through him. So if he is not able to go, or if he's hindered, that's a tough ask for Duke to go on the road to Doak Campbell and beat a Florida State team, by the way, right now, which is absolutely clicking on all cylinders. They completely annihilated Syracuse last week, and I almost get the sense like they've been hearing a little bit about, yeah, but their power ratings are lower compared to the other unbeatens. The ACC is no good. What about North Carolina undefeated? It almost feels like Mike Norvell and that coaching staff kind of been listening to the words that are out there and just saying, hey, maybe remember about us, the team that already beat LSU and beat Clemson this year as well.
Go to VSiN.com/subscribe to become a VSiN Pro subscriber today.